Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Hashem Shai, double honors to the elders of GMS, and double honors to all the brothers out there doing the work and sincerity is of the elect. Now, I'm going to start off reading an article. It's titled, Parents Upset Over Lunchtime Palm Scanner. And it reads, with the palm scanner system, students hover their hand over an infrared scanner that IDs them by the unique patterns in their skin and registers a sale, according to a report from the Daily Herald. The Herald talks to Mike Richmond, who has 2 children at a Westmere Elementary School. He said the scanning started before parents were given the chance to opt out. So basically, these people that's the government, these devils, are just rushing people, not even giving them a chance to really say no to it. They just throwing it out there, and you just going to have to deal with it, basically, because they making it where they attacking your kids with this RFID technology already. Although they're not putting a chip in their hands right now, there's still a form of that technology. That's they're indoctrinating your children and accepting it already. And it says, I didn't appreciate how they handled it. I'm concerned about it. I know it's the way of the future, but it's fingerprinting, it's palm scanning. So right now they're admitting this is the way of the future. So this technology is going to be more widespread than it is right now. It's already been out since World War II. Probably even before then. It says the district said the goal is to decrease the time it takes to pay for lunches, since the children have a limited amount of time to eat their meals. Now they're trying to say they care about how long it takes for these children to eat their food, but they don't care. They're just using that as a medium to push out their agenda. Because these devils don't care about these children, because they approved anthrax vaccinations on infants as young as newborn babies. But that's another topic. I'm gonna read something from a writing by John Gatto. It's titled Indoctrination and Education. Dictionary.com defines indoctrination as a teaching something to accept doctrines uncritically. So these people didn't have a time to critically examine this stuff. They just threw it out there, and their kids are getting their hands scanned before they have a time to really examine the effects of this technology on their kids, or examine if they really want their kids to do this. They got their kids doing this stuff already before their parents even know it. It says, similarly, Arthur 2003 37, I don't know what that means, but argues to indoctrinate is defined as to teach something that is true or universally accepted regardless of evidence to the contrary, or in the absence of evidence at all. So like they said, they know that that's the wave of the future, and it's being commonly accepted, slowly but surely. In some areas it's being accepted on a much faster rate. It is a pejorative term. These definitions capture very well 2 critical attributes of indoctrination: the push for uncritical, often universal acceptance of ideas, and eschewing of evidence. So the evidence to the contrary, they eschew that, they push it away, and make it unavailable to the public, so they can make a logical decision on whether they want to pursue that or not. Just like with them kids, they didn't even inform their parents about the things that their children are doing at school. And let's see, if indoctrination is the closing down of alternative through the promotion of single unaccessible views and the shunning of evidence, then it seems to us that education is the opposite. So they're saying education is really the opposite of education. I mean, he's saying that the education is the opposite of indoctrination, because in school you get taught something and they only show you one side of it. For example, Christopher Columbus sailed the ocean in 1492, you know. And the only reason that I really know that is because they basically brainwashed us in school to remember that with a song or whatever. And so you just commonly accept that. Like it says earlier about indoctrination, is commonly accepted, but it's not true. And they eschewed evidence to the contrary. But we all know the truth behind Christopher Columbus and America Vespucci now, for brothers who's in the truth or so. And let's see. So I'm gonna read Revelations. I'm gonna start at 13 and 13. And he does great wonders, so that he maketh fire come down from heaven on the earth in the sight of men, and deceiveth them that dwelleth on the earth by the means of those miracles. You know, Esau done a lot of miracles throughout the world, you know, with the from when he let's see, with the bombing Hiroshima and Nagasaki. You know, that didn't happen before then. They didn't have that type of bombs or technology to do that back then, and they awed a lot of people throughout the world with that display of power. You know, with the hologram technology that they have now, you know, with the new, all the stuff that your cell phone can do, all the technology that they got around, you know, in the world of today, and so on. There's many more, which he had power to do in the sight of men, in the sight of beasts, saying to them that dwell on the earth, that they should make an image to the beast, which had the wound by the sword and did live. Now everybody knows America is modern day Roman society. I mean Roman, you know. You could say Rome in a reincarnation or whatever, but this is Rome again, mingled with Egypt, mingled with Sodom, Gomorrah, you know. They got all the gods of Egypt, Molech, you know. They got things like an obelisk, pyramids. Check the back of your dollar bill. This place is not built up in the image of the Most High or anything like that. It's an ungodly place, you know. And let's see, I'm gonna continue reading. Oh, and another thing is, it said to make an image to the beast which had the wound. The point is, make an image to the beast, you know, because if you do history, the heathen always wanted to portray themselves as a god, you know. The heathen always had a proud spirit on them, you know. Like for example, they always wanted statues made of their image and worshipped, like what's his name, Caesar, Julius Caesar, Gaius Julius Caesar. See, another one. Can't think of his name right now, but that's just to name one, you know. Oh yeah, in Egypt, they always want to portray themselves as being a god, worshiping different idols and stuff like that, you know. And let me get this preset real quick. Nice. All right, Psalms. Do I want that one? Yeah. Psalms 96:5. For all the gods of the nations are idols, but the Lord made the heavens. You know, and like it says in here, they want an image made, to the make an image to the beast. You know, in verse 14, closer to the end of it, there they go again. They're coming to a time where they want an image for it now. And people are willingly taking this. I'm gonna continue reading. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, and it calls it in the scriptures call it an image, because all these idols, they're always images of wood, gold, silver, some type of tangible thing. Oh, the beast should be. I'm gonna start over. And he had power to give life unto the image of the beast, that the image of the beast should be both speak and cause that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed. Now, in the past, when you if you didn't worship the god that the Egyptians wanted you to worship, you wasn't worshiping the sun, they had a problem with that. If they didn't kill you, they wanted to kill you. And today, if you don't take that chip, it's gonna come a time where you're gonna be thrown in a concentration camp, a FEMA camp. You know what I'm saying? You're gonna be fined heavily. And most people, weak-minded people, they gonna go ahead and take that chip, because it's easier to take that chip than to just deal with the consequences of not taking that chip. I'm gonna get a preset. I'm gonna get Matthews and let's see, Matthews and 13. Enter ye in at the straight gate, for wide is the gate, and broad is the way that leadeth to destruction, and many there be which go in thereat. So the broad way is taking this RFID chip, which according to the scriptures is a mark of the beast. That's the broad way, and that's the way that leads to destruction. See? I'm going to start at 16, Revelations 13:16. And he causes all, both small and great, rich and poor, free and bond, to receive a mark in their right hand or in their foreheads, and that no man might buy or sell save he that had the mark, or the name of the beast, or the number of his name. So if you don't get this mark, Esau is gonna make it where you won't be able to buy food. Like in the article with the children, they was using that hand scanner to get their food. I'm gonna read something right here from it's called. It says, "Want an RFID chip implant in your hand? Here's the DIY surgery lookalike video," and they have a video if you want to watch it. But I'm gonna read a small part of this. It says, Amal Rafasta snapped on a pair of black rubber gloves. "Do you want to talk about pain management techniques?" he asked the bearded system administrator, or bearded system administrator across the table, who requested I call him Andrew. He paid Grafsta, or however you pronounce his name, $30 to have a radio frequency identification RFID chip injected into the space between his thumb and pointer finger. And as Grafsta describes LeMay's tight breathing methods, Andrew looked remarkably untroubled in spite of the intimidating high-gauge syringe sitting on the table between them. So they're trying to make this sound not that bad. But that's what the devil does, man. The devil speaks sweetly with his lips. Okay? Let me get Proverbs 16 and 27. Yeah. Proverbs 16 and 27. And an ungodly man diggeth up evil, and his lips thereof is as a burning fire. Now, that burning fire that he has is them lies, man, that he got. And that fire is gonna burn him up too. Cause you play with fire, man, you're gonna get burned with fire. And that's what Esau does. You know? Speaking sweetly with his lips and so on. You know, making this mark of the beast thing sound like it's not that bad. I'm gonna continue reading. Grofta finishes his pain talk, fishes a tiny syringe, 2 millimeter diameter, EM4012 RFID chip out of a tin of isopropyl, I can't pronounce that word, basically alcohol, and drop it into a syringe. Replacing the RFID tag intended for pets that came with the injection kit, he swapped Andrew's hand with iodine, carefully pinched and pulled up a fold of skin on the top of his hand to create a tent of flesh, and with the other hand slides the syringe into its subscript layers known as the fascia just below the surface. So basically he took a kit that they would use to tag a dog and just replaced it with an RFID chip to stick into humans. And this is all he had to do was pay $30 for this. And he was doing this in front of people. On the course of the weekend, Andrew would be one of 8 people to undergo the RFID implant among 500 or so attendees of Torm Camp, a hacker conference, and retreat near the northwest corner of Washington State. So this happened within Washington. Grafta's implication station was set up in the open air. Any camper willing to spend $30 and sign a liability waiver could have the implant performed, and after the excitement of Andrew's injection, a small line formed to be next. So these people was willingly able to take this mark, this chip. And it says, and why volunteers to be injected with a chip that responded to the radio signals with a unique identifier procedure technically reserved for tracking pets and livestock. I thought it would be cool, saying Andrew. So these people are idiots, man. This nation indoctrinated these people to be fools. And, like, what type of educated answer was that? I thought it would be cool to get an RFID chip put in my hand so other people can track me and monitor me and have access to my bank accounts and medical records. Not to mention there's a small amount of poison in it, so if I do something they don't like and they can just hit a switch, you thought that would be cool. That's the same thing that the Romans did with their slaves, branding them with the hot iron, or whatever they used to put marks on their slaves to brand them. The same thing they did when we came into captivity over here under the Europeans, Spaniards. I'm gonna read human branding. This is from Wikipedia. Human branding, or stigmatism, however you want to pronounce it. It's English language, so whatever. Is a process in which a mark, usually a symbol or ornament pattern, is burned into the skin of a live person with the intention that the resulting scar makes it permanent. This is performed using a hot or very cold branding iron. Is therefore used physically the physical techniques of livestock branding. So this is a technique they use to brand animals. There's people that get that this has happened to people in history, you know, obviously, on a human, either with consent as a form of body modification. So this RFID technology, these people are getting this chip um, inside their hand or forehead, you know, like it says here, on a human, either with the consent as a form of body modification. These people, obviously, in an article I read, these people consented to this body modification, or under Coricon, I can't pronounce that word, as a punishment or imposing magistrate rights over an enslaved or otherwise oppressed person. So in America, especially Israelites, if you are of black or Negro, Latino, Native American descent, according to your father's side, you are definitely being oppressed in this country, so-called country, you know. And this is a method used to imposing magistrate rights over an enslaved or otherwise oppressed person. It may also be practiced as a rite of passage, such as within a tribe, or to satisfy a member in an organization such as college fraternities or sororities. So we already know what happens in these colleges. They just get indoctrinated to accept stuff like this, to accept the ways of this sodomitish, um, Egyptian, pagan, wicked society known as America and all over the world that it goes on in. You know. So these RFID chips are a way of them marking you, and you just willingly becoming their slaves. And if you don't willingly do it, then like it says in Revelations 13 and 15, that and he calls that as many as would not worship the image of the beast should be killed, put in a concentration camp, tortured, you know. And that's all on that. I just want to bring a couple points out on that. All right. Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, Barakathum, and all praise to Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shai, and double honors to the elders of GMS. Shalom.